So thank you very much, Herbert. So good morning. Today, yes, I would like to talk about model order reduction for nonlinear problem in solid mechanics, but for nonlinear problem involving many parameters. Alors, this work, yes, has been done with my colleague David Néron and also with Charles Paillet, who is a PhD working in this subject. So, what I would like to show today is the fact that it is possible to introduce quite a lot of parameters, and the way that I would like to introduce can be seen as an extended PGD, because today, yes, we have a very serious limitation regarding the number of parameters. So you see, okay, sorry. So here you have one line of my presentation. So I will start with reduced order model for nonlinear problem parameter, the state of the art, and after we move what we propose, which is named multi-scale parameter PGD. Why? Because in particular, we introduce two scales over the parameter space as it is done classically, yes, for classical space and for the time interval. So now, yes, the state of the art. So we consider complex constitutive relation, viscoplasticity, damage, unilateral contact with friction and damage, quasi-static evolution, plus parameters. So when we look to the set of the art, you have the Latin PGD. We have been working during years on this subject. We have today, yes, few other work, except perhaps the work of David Ricklink and his group. But now things are changing. There are more and more works using the POD or the PGD, but in connection with what is called FE square, the classical motion technique. So we want to construct a reduced order model for partial differential equation in the nonlinear range. So we are, in fact, three main methods, three main techniques. And for me, yes, these three methods are very close. The main idea is to say that the shape function we are used to get an approximation. In this case, for this method, the shape functions are not introduced a priori. They are not a priori given. They are computed at the same time that you compute the solution of the problem. And that thanks to an iterative process. So the shape function psi here defined over this big space, the time interval, the classical space, and the parameter space. One introduced also, yes, another hypothesis, a variable separation hypothesis or something equivalent. And then the shape function psi is written like that, where all these individual functions are arbitrary. Now, the interest comes from the fact that for many engineering problems, few shape functions are needed. The integer m is small. There are two applications. For the computation of line, the computation time, yes, can decrease drastically. And the main point is the fact that at the end, you have a reduced model for quasi-real-time simulation. Now, the main question is how. It is here where these methods are different. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry, block. So I cannot advance.
This is not the same, no? Is this a Macintosh? No. This is still. Don't relax. Don't worry.
Okay, so
no.
Okay, talk a little bit. sorry for that. So now, yes, arrive to the PGD. PGD for proper general decomposition. The characteristic of the PGD is to introduce a global residual over this big space that you have here, the classical space, the time interval, and the parameter space. The global residual is a quantity we satisfy this property, and then the problem becomes to minimize this global residual, introducing this approximation where we have a finite sum or product of function of the time, function of the space variable, and function of the parameter. All these functions are a priori arbitrary. Now, this problem is not a classical one. It is twice nonlinear, because first, the problem that we have to solve is nonlinear, but also even if the initial problem is linear, to get an approximation like this one leads to a nonlinear problem. So I will start, for the sake of simplicity, for the case where we don't have any parameters. And after we move to the case with parameters. Oh, always the same. I don't know what happened.
Yes, let's try what he said about disabling the Wi-Fi. Because I think that's the problem also, that the computer gets blocked because of the Wi-Fi. We can try to disable the Wi-Fi. I don't see it now. Should be up here. No, I don't see it now. I think that's a problem also. Just a moment, please. Okay, I didn't see this desactivar. Okay, let's try again. Okay.
Okay. So here you have the classical problem in solid mechanics. So we are studying the equilibrium of the structure, submit to prescribed displacement on the part of the boundary, prescribed traction on the complementary part, and we have also prescribed body force. All these quantities are defined over this time interval. So the problem is to compute the value of this internal variable at any time, at any point. So here you have the inelastic strain rate, the rate of additional internal variable, could be hardening variable, damage variable, chemical variable, why not? Sigma is the stress, y is associated for 2x. X and y have the same dimension. So here you have the kinematic admissibility, the prescribed displacement on the part of the boundary, the strain related to U underline, and here the equilibrium equation, prescribed body force, prescribed traction. And the constitutions are split into state equation, where you recognize here the Hooke law, where K is the Hooke tensor, and we have also a relation between X and Y being the associated force to X. We have also the state evolution law with the material operator B, plus initial condition. So now, to go further, I would like to introduce a more compact formulation. So it is rewriting of this formulation, introducing generalized quantities. Here you have the generalized inelastic strain rate, the generalized elastic strain rate, and here you have the generalized stress, where you see the classical stress, and Y is the associated force to X. And all these quantities are defined over the time-space domain. So now you have this formulation. It's to find this pair, where you have here the generalized inelastic strain rate, the generalized stress, defined over the time-space domain, and this pair should satisfy the admissibility equation and the evolution law. And for the admissibility equation, we have to satisfy the relation where Q is a linear operator, local in time, and non-explicit, and this quantity here is given independent of the data. For the evolution law, we have a material operator B, which is local in space and in time variable, plus the initial condition that you have here. To go further, we introduce a geometrical scheme. So the solution of the first group equation, admissibility equation, A indexed by D, is described by this straight line because we have linear equation. The solution of the second group equation, gamma, is described by this curve because in general we have nonlinear equation and the exact solution is the intersection. So now we arrive to the construction of reduced order model in nonlinear solid mechanics. The idea that we follow is very simple. So we would like to introduce an iterative process in such a way that the problems that we want to solve become a succession of linear global problems over the time-space domain. And this linear global problem could depend on parameters. Okay, so after that, for each linear problem, we define a reduced order model using one of these techniques. And the final stage is to put all these ROM together in order to have the final ROM. So as we use the solver Latin, which is very suitable because the solver Latin is global over the time-space domain. We solve alternatively the two sets of equations that you have here. And for that, we introduce two third directions, which are in yellow. So at each iteration, we have two stages. The linear stage, we know this point, we want to determine this one here. This point should be admissible and also satisfy the third direction that you have here. Here it is a kind of Newton technique. And the operator capital H, which is here, is associated to this tangent. And we are computing the red quantity. The problem that you have here is linear and also global over the time-space domain. The second stage is defined here, where we know this point and we want to determine this one, and this one should satisfy the state evolution law. For the third direction, we can take the previous operator, which is local both in space and time variable. And so the problem that you have here is local both in space and in time variable. Even it is nonlinear, it is very easy to solve and very suitable for parallel computing. So we have some convergence property, but I have not the time to enter into the details. So now let us stop on the construction of the reduced order model. That is done at the linear stage. So we know this point, we want to determine this one, and this one should satisfy the admissibility equation and also the third direction, which is here. Now what we do first, we introduce what we call correction. So what we want to compute these quantities, and here you have the difference with the previous iterate. So you see here the problem written in terms of correction. That is admissibility equation, the third direction with the operator capital H and the initial condition. So to introduce the PGD, we need a global residual. It is very easy. We consider that the third direction, which is here, with operator capital H, is a kind of constitutive relation. So we introduce the constitutive relation error, which is defined over the time-space domain, and so we have to minimize this constitutive relation error. That is our global residual. But we have some constraint, admissibility equation plus initial condition. The second point is also very clean. We introduce a separation of variable only for the correction related to the generalized inelastic train rate. So all these functions here of the time or space variable are arbitrary. So here we introduce the initial condition, and we introduce also the admissibility constraint by constructing the correction related to the generalized stress, where here you have the operator Q, so we have to compute, to get this term, several elasticity problems. So it is very easy. So now we minimize the global residual, alternatively to get the time function and the space function. Particularly what we do, at each Latin iteration, to get the solution, we have two sub-iterations. And at the most, for each Latin iteration, we introduce one new PGD mode. So now let us move to the case with parameters. There are two methods. The first one is to consider that the parameters are extra-coordinate. Now, extra-coordinate is a word coined by Francisco Ginesta, which means that the parameters are seen as a classical coordinate, the time or the space variable. Okay? So what we do, here we are working as a linear stage to derive Rho, and we have to extend the global residual to the parameter space. There is a second method, which is named parameter extrapolation. Here we use remarkable property of the Latin PGD, because with the Latin PGD we can initialize the calculation process by introducing any arbitrary time-space function. So we construct a space-reduced order basis which is common to all the set of parameters. So I have not the time to give many illustrations, so I will give only an illustration related to the method 2. So here it is related to the blade of the Vulkan engine, so I am not able to show the true geometry. So here, yes, you see the problem. We prescribe the displacement here. We have 4 cycles, 3 parameters, and you see here the amplitude of this parameter. So the first parameter is the loading, and you have 2 material constants. Here we use the Chaboch law for viscoplasticity. We take 10 discretization points per parameter, so we have to compute 1,000 parameter set. And with Abacus, it is 2 months. With the Latin PGD, yes, the gain for the computation offline is 80. So 2 months become 80 hours. If I use an hyper-reduction technique, additional hyper-reduction technique, this gain becomes 400. So we have a blade reduced model. So we have used 72 modes. If I use an additional SVD, 72 modes, yes, become 30 modes. So now an application. So I am considering a virtual chart related to the maximum of the measure stress. For the uncertainties, you have for the 2 material constants, they are stochastic, and they follow a truncated normal distribution. And for the loading parameter, yes, it is described by an interval, so we have a fuzzy description. So now we are able, yes, to define, yes, for this maximum measure stress, an interval, yes, where is at 95% probability, for example, and you see here what is this interval. Okay. Now I move to the case where we have, yes, quite a lot of parameters. The idea that we have to follow, we are using, yes, the technique where the parameters are seen as extra coordinate. So let me recall that we construct a reduced order model for only linear problem. Now with the standard PGD, so we have a limitation, a strong limitation. 8 parameters is a maximum, big maximum, yes, with 10 decision points. Our proposal is to go much further with the parameter multiscale PGD. So it is a work in progress. So the model problem that we are considering is linear. It is an elasticity problem. To get a lot of parameters, what we do, we split the domain into subdomain or element omega e, such that the local rigidity can be written like that, where mu e is a scalar parameter. We belong to this interval. The 2 operators which are here are positive symmetric operators. So this parameter can be seen as a damage variable. So the problem that we have, yes, in this linear, it is to find this quantity here. Sorry, yes, x underline. Mu is a parameter belonging to this parameter space. The operator is capital A, and the second number B underline. The test will be done considering a 3D elasticity problem, a cube interaction, where we prescribe here the traction or the displacement. We are considering also the associated 1D problem, where mu e is constant over the cross-section. Why? Because here we are able to derive the exact solution. First, we consider the standard PGD. So we have the canonical format, which is shown here. So you have here the part which depends on the space variable, the part which depends on the parameter, where we have individual function of the individual parameter. We use classical greedy algorithm combined with a Galerkin formulation, and here you have a first result, 8 parameters with a small interval, so no difficulty. So here you have virtual chart for the displacement magnitude, no difficulty for 8 parameters with a small interval. Now, when we move to larger number of parameters, you have here the relative error in terms of the number of space PGD mode. For 8 parameters, yes, no difficulty. For 27 is the beginning, and for 64 parameters, yes, we do not converge. It is possible to introduce several enhancements, in particular more complex tensor format. For me, it is an a priori choice, so it's clear you have a real effectivity, but this effectivity is limited. But we have a work in progress, but at the present time, I have not any result. So now let me introduce what we propose, the parameter multiscale PGD and the key idea. So the key idea is first to develop the solution around the average solution. The average solution is here. So you see here the average operator and B underlined the second member. So for the sake of simplicity, I have supposed that this second member is mu constant and also yes, one subdomain is one element. So for the operator, it is written like that, where delta is a perturbation operator will depend on the parameter. So we develop around yes, this average solution. We suppose that the perturbation operator has eigenvalue less than 1. And so we have several terms. And I think that for many engineering problems, good approximation is obtained with rather few terms. And that cancels the curse of dimensionality. Now let us go a little bit further. Have a look on these three terms which are here. First, x1. I introduce a notation. IE, which is here, is restriction to omega e to element e. You have here the perturbation operator. And now the image of this quantity here by this operator, yes, which is average operator minus 1. It happens that this quantity is self-equilibrated. And then from Thevenin principle, the quantity with here is localized over a neighborhood of E. So, x1 can be written like that, linear regarding yes, mu E, and also this quantity associated to E is localized in the neighborhood of E. For the second term, we have first a quadratic part, and also this part here, which is here, is localized in the neighborhood of E. And for the second part that you can see here, E and prime are different, is a part which is linear regarding the single parameter. So it's what we follow. You have here E parameter. The influence of this E parameter, yes, locally, over this neighborhood of E is non-linear, and here you need a macro description of the parameter. Outside this interval, a linear description is enough, and so a macro description is enough. It's what we introduce, it's what we propose in the parameter multiscale approximation. It is given here. So you see the solutions that you are looking for. Here it is a part we depend on the element E. And so for the element E, we have several terms, several products. This product, which is here, you have microfunction. Here we use the macro description of the parameters, but we are considering only parameter associated to the element belonging to the neighborhood of E. For the element outside, we introduce only, yes, the macro description, in our case, a linear description. All these quantities are stored at the element level that you can see here, the macro function, the macro one, and also the part we depend on space. But to handle such approximation, it is necessary to have yes, something discontinuous in space variable. So it's what we have done, and we use what we call the weak-tref discontinued Galerkin method. So here we have a discontinued admissible field, and it is weak-tref. Why? Because the elements that you are considering satisfy the interior equation, which is here in the mean sense. The resultant and the moment are zero value. So I have not the time to give the detail about the formulation. Let me say only that you have a unique solution because we have a coercive property, and also a certain robustness because the formulation still works even if we have zero rigidity element. So now the computation of the solution. We start with the average solution that you have here. That is average operator. Now at iteration end, we look to the residual related to the element E. We have a correction that you have here, where this quantity here, it is a neighborhood of E, which is a choice. And for this neighborhood, we introduce macro function. So we minimize using classical fixed point algorithm. It is quite easy because the problem is very local. After that, we have a global equilibration of the new E-local residual using the average operator, and that gives an associated constitutive relation error we can be compared to a threshold, and we stop when we reach the threshold. So now, yes, the result. First, for the 1D problem. Now we consider a larger interval, plus minus 50%, with 10 discrete points. You can see that even now with 8 parameters, we have difficulty to converge with the classical PGD. Let me introduce now some kind of error, because in this case, for 1D problem, we know the exact solution. So these quantities could be seen as a quadratic error over the parameter space. This one is a local error regarding the parameter space. And you can see the contribution of the terms that you have here. And so with these three terms, we get for the local error something about 10%, and for the quadratic one something about 4%. And now, what gives the parameter multiscale? For the 1D problem, with the parameter multiscale, after the first iteration, we get n mode. And for prescribed traction, the error are equal to 0. And for prescribed displacement, yes, it happens that the error is not 0, but error tends to 0 with a number of parameters. Now, yes, the first test in the case of 3D problem. So first, after the first iteration, we get n mode. And you see here the constitutive relation error, which is about 3–5%. And it seems that the error is independent of the number of parameters. Now, after the second iteration, we have, yes, 7 times the number of parameters, and you can see the error is 0.5%. So here we have very, very good accuracy after the second iteration. So now I arrive to the end of my talk. First, I would like to say that this multiscale parameter PGD seems to be, yes, efficient and robust. We are studying at the present time the limit, considering parameter case involving zero rigidity. The second point that we are doing is now to apply what I have shown to engineering nonlinear problem, yes, with space-varying material coefficient. So it is end, and thank you very much for your attention.